Join us for the all-new BMW 3 Series Touring. Let's go! In the front, the new 3 Series has a bigger stance on the road. It's a little bit wider, 4 centimeters wider track in the front. Very interesting. Tanzanite blue is the color here for today. Someone that comes close to a Thomas blue, at least in the brighter shapes. And it also fits very well to this optional laser light. LED standard, then dynamic LED optional, and then the top trim is this laser light here for more high beam. And then you also have those blue accentuations. Pretty interesting. This one here is also an M Sport line. There are different lines, and this one is the sportiest one you can get design-wise, also with stronger bumpers right there. The double kidney is wider than before, but is adaptive as for the air intake to improve the wind efficiency. 4.70 m, 15'4" or 185 inches is the length of the 3 Series Touring in this generation. Whereas the new sedan has the internal code G20, this one has the G21, and it's more about 8.5 centimeters longer actually, and same length for sedan and the Touring. 16 to 19 inch wheels, those ones here are 18 inch. I think it's a good compromise overall. And one design element is new. It raises here now a little bit if you compare it to the predecessor generation. Technology wise, a lot have been done. 25% stiffer from a chassis, for example, and I also have a lower center of gravity. The rear is about 2 centimeters. Why? Well, the track, so the space between both tires, is 2 centimeters wider than in the predecessor version. And also the window in the rear here is 2 centimeters wider. So together with those horizontal tail lamps now, definitely bigger stance on the road. And those are also honest exhaust pipes. Well, the outer ring is beauty, but those are real exhaust pipes indeed. The M Sport here also gets a contrasting lower bumper right there. And overall, this one now looks a little bit more alike to the sedan than before. And one special thing is, of course, how the hatch will open in this two-way split way. We will soon show that to you. So, what's under the hood right here? Interesting, this is a twin power turbo. This one is the big 3-liter diesel with 265 horsepower and xDrive, the all-wheel drive. So 3-liter 6-cylinder and 8-speed automatic gearbox. But there's also the 2-liter 4-cylinder diesel, 150 or 190 horsepower. The latter one then also optional with xDrive all-wheel drive. And then there are petrols, 2-liter 4-cylinder, the 320i with 184 horsepower or the 330i. Optional with xDrive with 258 horsepower. And then there will be the plug-in hybrid, the 330e. That one then based on the 2-liter 4-cylinder engine, but also an electric drivetrain and 12 kWh battery and 60 kilometers of official pure electric range, which will of course be a little bit lower than in a realistic driving cycle. Well, then there's the top model, the M340i, 3-liter 6-cylinder with 374 horsepower. And yeah, this one will not only be available for the sedan, but also here for the estate. So basically, sedan and estate will get the very, very same engines. Yeah, just, when there once will be the next true M3, that will only come for the sedan as usual. Getting inside, in the front, it's the same as in the sedan, so typical mid-size seating position. I'm 1.86 or 6'1", and there's plenty of headroom left if you have not picked the panoramic roof like this. If you pick this one here with 1.86 or 6'1", then this one here stays with the headroom. This is the interior overview. It starts with a 5.7-inch screen on the left. Those ones optional 12.3-inch digital instruments. On the right side starts with an 8.8-inch. This one here, the 10.25 inch, the biggest screen, and with the horizontal layout and very well integrated, I think. And then it's very interesting how they frame this one here. There's a decor element. The climate unit is still accessible right here. You can control it while driving quite well. And also a metal knurled volume knob here. The lower area, you can slide that one open. You have the inductive charging platform for your phone and one normal USB charger there, adaptive cup holders, then a converter automatic gearbox, some hotkeys here on the left, for example, also for the camera when the engine is running. Here the map. You can browse on that here with pinch and zoom, but you can still use the central knob, and that's also good while driving. I like to zoom in and out with the central knob while driving, for example. And so far, the GPS software by BMW never let me down so far. Well, what else? You have the car menu here, for example, and can share some driving information. You can also have those sport displays for the G-forces. Not sure if you use it for 3 Series Touring, I don't know. And then you also have, when you have the Apple CarPlay connection, it is always wireless then, and then you can have the hotkey right there, and there's a very good integration of that, so it uses all space and still remains the hotkeys right there. No Android Auto available. Well, you have a little bit more legroom than in the predecessor generation because the car is over a little bit longer, so that works for four tall adults. And even with the panoramic roof, it works because the roof raises to the rear part again, so I can also easily sit here. I can also do that in a sedan, where the roof continues a little bit further straight with the Touring, but indeed, difference between sedan and Touring seating position in the headroom is not that different. It's really more about the truck. So the cool thing with the 3 Series Touring is still this unique feature that you can open the upper glass, and then you can even control the top sliding here. But it's a little bit, there it is. So you can slide it open like this, but you have to do it back again manually, or you open it completely. So that's possible. And then you can access it here for quickly or something. Pretty cool function still, and one of the unique features. So then let's close it again to be opening the whole hatch. There we are. It's 480 liters for the sedan, 500 here for the Touring. Why is it just 20 liters more? Well, because they just measure everything below the cover. Of course, the Touring has more space above it. Those rubber pads, they raise just a little bit while driving, and then everything is already stuck here quite well due to this rubber material. But then again, when they go up, it gets the trolleys and stuff even more stuck, so they don't fly all around the back of the car. That's actually a very nice idea. We have the adaptive suspension inbuilt here. You might remember there's the normal new suspension for this new generation, which has those hydraulic cushions, and that one would be standard and optional, the M Sport, and optional the adaptive suspension here. And the adaptive one is really cool. It delivers a very good comfortable ride, definitely. So we're at the moment here also in a normal comfort mode, and this is really cool. So it evens out a lot of the bumps. It's also one of the reasons they decided against offering an air suspension here in the mid-size segment, whereas the Mercedes C-Class, for example, they do offer air suspension in this very segment. And you can always go to the sports mode, then also the suspension stiffens up a little bit. You can feel that. The difference is not like, not worlds, but you definitely feel that you have a little bit more control, a little bit more feeling to the road. The steering setup also changes. So when you are in comfort, for example, steering is very light. I was criticizing in the first 3 Series driving that it has some numb feel here in the low degree areas, and this one has been improved now. So also a good step forward, definitely. So there's something happening right there. And when you are back then in the sports mode, gears are turned up higher, and there's also some little bit more feedback from the steering, but also not too much. So the steering itself, the steering feeling remains pretty light, and it's also, it's okay, it's nice and progressive, direct, but it's not the most natural feeling. This one here always comes with the xDrive, that is the all-wheel drive at BMW, and that means you have also some power on the front wheels. Wow, that kicks in pretty nicely. Also, I think a decent sound. Here, of course, sound actuator is being used. But still, even with the overdrive, it remains with a clear rear-wheel bias because this is a rear-wheel driven platform still. So it's here rear plus front a little bit on demand. Then here now driving at about 100 kilometers, the noise insulation is actually quite good. So really nice what they've done here. There is the front insulation from the front glass is standard for the new 3 Series. And option, you can also get an acoustic package for the side window here for both, and this is then an option. Or we go to sports mode because then also the start stop gets deactivated. And well, we can also really show you what this diesel is capable of. Definitely very interesting because it is quite powerful, and you will see that right now as soon as the traffic light jumps to green. Well, that was 90. That was 0 to 90. Wow. So yeah, that was pretty powerful. And also, for a diesel, a quite nice sound. So performance-wise, nothing to complain about at all. And now to our conclusion for today with the all-new BMW 3 Series Touring. Well, first of all, it has a bigger stance in the front, definitely the whole front area, and also more horizontal shape in the rear. The car is a little bit longer than before, therefore also offers a little bit more space on the interior, especially on the back seats. Still, it's more practical than the sedan version, especially customers from Germany and Italy appreciate that. That's where the estate here is the #1 seller inside the 3 Series setup. Interior, they have massively stepped up the build quality to the predecessor generation. That's really cool. And they also have a lot of different materials available for the seats, as I mentioned earlier. Driving wise, it's, I would indeed say it's a little bit different than the sedan. Of course, it's the same platform, same wheelbase. I think the sedan maybe feels a little bit more agile, but that could also just be a subjective issue. But I can just state what I experience here. Might also be an engine choice. We drove the big diesel here today in the Touring, where we had the petrol in the sedan. So probably if you drive the very, very same drivetrain in the, once in the Touring, once in the sedan, then maybe, the driving impression is also more equal to that. But you can still have a lot of fun. It has a good fun driving feeling. The steering could be a little bit more natural in the feeling, but they already worked on that since our very first ride with the all-new 3 Series. So that's good that they responded to that feedback there too. And consumption-wise, as for the diesel, you can score very, very low consumption if you keep it steady with the throttle, but then it also goes up quite easily. But overall, I think it makes sense if you drive a long ways. However, the PHEV version will also be available here for the Touring. That could be a very interesting choice, so we will also keep you updated with that. What about you? What do you think about the new 3 Series Touring, and would you go for this one here or rather for the sedan? Please tell us. And if you're also a long-term customer of that one, also share your experience with this one, please. So, also tune into other 3 Series reviews. We will link them down below. And also we have a lot of the competitors here on our channel. So see you there.